everybody. It's your boys, your friends, your
boys,
pals, your buddies, Chris and Matt here with Six Wins. It's time for another bracket because Matt, once again, chose the pick that ended up winning the last bracket, which was Best WWE Talkers. Matt, who won? And who was, well, obviously it was your pick, but who won?
Yeah, well, we had our final four. We had The Rock, expected, going against John Cena in one match, and then we had Stone Cold Steve Austin going against Paul Heyman, and we ended up having a Rock Austin final. And as we kind of both expected when we started picking, whoever got first pick was probably going to take The Rock and would probably win unless we found like the right matchup and the right day where people voted. So The Rock did win our best WWE talker on the mic of all time bracket. The Rock's first wrestling win, as far as I know, because we've done best wrestler twice. What else have we done?
We've done
what are the wrestler brackets?
Best move, best signature move.
Best move. That came down to RKO and Stunner. So yes, Rock maybe got close, but I don't know if he even made Final Four, honestly.
Yeah, I don't remember how far the People's Elbow or the Rock Bottom got, but
yeah.
So, okay, well, now do you agree? I know Rock was your first pick, but do you agree with Rock being the best WWE talker?
That's a good question. I will split the difference as I always do and say I agree that from like a fairly objective standpoint, for him being able to do all of the different kinds of personas or characterization or crowd work that you would ever want of a wrestler, he does it all, and at the highest level. He's not personally my favorite. I would probably say there's one or two other guys that I just like and appreciate more on the mic, but he is, if you were building like a Madden video game that was just based on mic skills and it was like face, heel, humor, pumping up the crowd, getting the crowd to boo, musical stuff, like The Rock is going to be like 90s and above in all of those categories. Will be the highest overall guy.
Yeah, for sure. And for me personally, I would say he's my favorite wrestler on the mic, but personally would have probably came down to Rock versus Heyman. I thought Austin beating Heyman was a little, I didn't really agree. I think Austin was fine. He was great. He was, the biggest superstar, but Heyman has just gone above and beyond, especially with the whole bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
Just how into the character he'll get and how good he is at promoting a match and making you go from, I could take or leave this match to like, oh, I need to see this match. Heyman is just unmatched. So,
Heyman's
gun to head, I'd probably go Rock just because he's very versatile, like funny, and after he came back with this final boss character, he's just probably unmatched. So I'd probably have to agree, but to me, Heyman is just like a hair below.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Heyman is phenomenal and does, again, for being a non-wrestler, can sell you on matches just as well as more than most wrestlers, which is surprising.
Right, exactly.
Before we start, though, you recently came back from a trip that I didn't even know you were going on, and then I started seeing some photos. I was like, whoa, that looks so fun. Anything you want to share about it?
Yeah, man. My wife and I, we went to Iceland for a week, and it was my first time traveling that far. Like, I had been to Mexico. We live in Michigan, so I'd been to Mexico. That's the
never been to Canada.
I've been once or twice.
Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't really count as another country. We would go to Windsor all the time when we turned 19. That was like the big, because they allowed drinking, whatever. But
yeah.
Canada, and then, so this was like the biggest leap across the pond, as they say, for me.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was so cool, so much. I can sit here and talk for an hour about how cool it was. I will say, just flying over it my first experience with Iceland, cracked my window on the airplane. I looked down, freaking lava, just volcano eruption, and I was like, oh, that must be normal. There must just be lava on this. What have I got myself into? And then our first day there, it was tremendously windy. So the windiest just climate I've ever experienced. So we got off that plane, and that first blast of cold air hit me in the face, and I'm like, we have made a huge mistake. This is not my idea of vacation. This is going to suck. This is going to be miserable and just cold. But that ended up being the worst of it. And it ends up, because it was pretty much between 50 and 55 degrees the whole time. But as we know here in Michigan, 55 degrees when it's sunny and no wind can feel like a beautiful summer day.
Yeah.
55 degrees when it's windy and rainy and cloudy, it can feel like a winter day. So, they tell you to layer up if you go there. And it's so true. You could leave the hotel and have, a hat, gloves, scarf, jacket on, and then an hour later you're stripped down to your t-shirt because it feels, perfect. So
wow, very cool, man.
Yeah, we did saw waterfalls, saw lava, saw geothermal, hot springs. If I could describe the terrain for the majority of it, it's like how you would imagine Mars would be, but covered in green moss.
Yeah.
And the people, if I could describe the people, this is the deep.
They are also covered in green moss.
Yeah, they're swamp monsters. You'd have to see the movie Mighty Ducks 2, where Team USA plays Iceland. There's a conversation between Gordon Bombay from the US and Wolf the Dentist Stanson from Iceland. Yes. And Wolf is just cool as a cucumber. And he goes, I know my competition and I know you. And then Gordon Bombay goes, yes, but do you know the real me? Trying to do the American schmoozy thing and yeah. And then they cut to Wolf and he's just like, I like that. And that's the best way I can describe people from Iceland. You cannot schmooze these people at all, which I appreciate, because
nice.
There's a little bit of, fakeness around here in America. It's like, whatever. But there it's just like everything is just,
for sure.
If they're not happy, or excited, they're not going to pretend to be happy or excited, which that makes a lot of sense,
Nice. I appreciate that as well. Well, I'm very jealous. Iceland has been one of the places I've most wanted to go since I was a young boy playing Carmen Sandiego computer games, and I was like, and for the Mighty Ducks. So so many people have gone now, and I hate you all. So,
well, if you do, here's a selling point for us. I don't know if I've shared this. You can get there on a one-way flight. I cannot stand a layover. So we backward engineered it, and we were like, where can we get to on a one-way Delta flight? Iceland popped up, so we're like, we're gonna do Iceland.
Oh, cool.
That's how that happened. Yeah.
Sometimes the reasons that you choose end up, picking like an awesome place anyway that you might not have gone to otherwise, but ends up being something really cool. So
yeah,
awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. So without further ado, you saw the title of the video. If you're here watching with us, 4 people, it's not 10,000 people, but 6 people are all hanging out together. That's pretty cool. So feel free to leave a chat if you want to see one of your favorite matches appear on this bracket, or if we totally botch something and we put down, the WLC match from 2016 or whatever.
Gotta add that.
I love that match.
There was one really good little person's match that they had, and I think you're right. I think it was that one when they had obviously Hornswoggle, but they had like the 2 like luchador guys and then the stuff. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, one of them was amazing. I think it was that one.
Yeah, they had tons of like puns. Like it was just a pun fest in that match. I forgot some of the names they threw around. JBL. There's JBL, Cole, and King, and they had like a little person nickname for all of them. I wish I could remember it, but that's okay.
Maybe we need to put it on there. I don't know now. I think we need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a solid 16 seed.
Yeah, I'm going to write it down.
So we're going to get this kicked off. If you've been with us for one of these drafts, what we do is we take turns every other, taking a draft pick. So we'll start with the number 1 seeds. It'll go first person, second person, then bounce back and forth. Then we'll go number 2 all the way to 16 until we have a complete bracket. And then starting, I don't know, tomorrow or Monday, we're going to start the voting here on YouTube. And you can have your say, and then we'll chat and talk about it. And yeah, that's what we do. So how are we going to get this kicked off? Who's going first, Matt?
Ooh, good question. I mean, yeah, like Chris said, we are about to build our bracket of the best WWE matches of all time, and we need somebody to pick first because a lot of times there's a favorite, and if you get first pick, you'll probably be the winner, getting your choice to win it all. But I don't think there's a favorite necessarily. I think this one will be closer than maybe our best talker. I'm open to a coin flip, a rock, paper, scissors, any way to determine without any past maybe wins or losses who picks first. I'm up with. We should have it would be awesome if users could submit to us, because I know sometimes we do the 2 truths and a lie shorts, and whichever one gets a trivia question right by a viewer maybe gets the next first pick or something, but obviously a little late for that. So yeah, what are you thinking? I'm willing to cede first pick because I've had a lot of first picks lately, I feel like.
Okay, I'll take first pick. Yeah, I'll take first pick. Like you said, the past couple have been, we knew who the heavy favorite was, and everyone was just kind of trying to dethrone who we thought was a heavy favorite. But with this one, it could go, it's just all up to the vote. It's all up to who's voting. If you're a 90s fan, there might be some more popular matches. If you only started watching wrestling 5 or 6 years ago, maybe there's some other matches that are fresher in your mind. But, there's no denying that there are some classic matches out there. So let me pop over and...
There it is.
Here we go. Here is the best WWE matches bracket, and I had the honor of getting first pick. So you know what? There are so many good matches out there. It's really, really hard to narrow it down. But I am going to have to go with the stipulation match from 1998.
Oh!
Bret Hart versus Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13. And I'm going to probably make my font a little smaller so we can squeeze, because this is...
Oh, that looks good. That looks
pretty good.
You might have to abbreviate some things, especially with this multi-man matches and stuff or things like that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
I got one in particular that, there was so many people in the match. It's going to be really hard to squeeze it in. But
oh, man. You know what? I would have bet almost a lot of money on HBK being involved in the first overall pick in one of his matches. So, and this was one that, I should have realized was also a contender. Okay, then I need to pick my first number 1, but the second overall number 1. We've got Austin and we've got Hart. 2 guys that probably will be on here a couple times. Probably should get their classic match here. I don't want to start finagling too early because, like we said, there's not a definitive 1 versus 2 that we're leaning towards. But I think this one, I mean, these are 2 of the guys that honestly show up more than anybody else on my list, despite me not necessarily thinking they're the best or not my personal favorites. But this match is often talked about as just one of the greats all time. It's up there. I will go with part 1, HBK versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. That first match at WrestleMania, the Streak was the first one billed as career versus streak, or was the second one billed as that one?
I believe it was just the second one that was technically career versus streak.
I figured, but half the time when somebody puts their career on the line, they come back. So I was like, well.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, obviously so good the first time they did it again, and we're likely to see it again on our list, but that'll be my first pick.
Yeah, that's a great first pick. And it's hard to separate the two. I know some of the spots, some of the classic spots, I couldn't tell you which one it was in, but I think the 25 one was where HBK went full in on the like he was dressed in white, and he was like Undertaker was like the dark presence, and he was like the light or whatever.
Yeah, I really loved that lead up and build to it, and that storytelling. Very cool.
That was awesome. So okay, so it's my turn for the next number one. Oh, I know what I want to put, but I don't think it will make. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going Roman and Cody from WrestleMania 40. Reigns versus Rhodes, WrestleMania 40. And
there we go.
I had them on my list here, so don't forget. I took exactly your suggestion, and that's do stipulation, regular, and multi-man.
And just as an easier way to organize for yourself, even. Yeah.
Exactly. So I organized it like that, but that I forgot that was technically a stipulation match because it was bloodline rules, and nobody knew what that even meant. Like, okay, I guess we're having a bloodline rules match, whatever that is.
Indeed. Okay. Oh man, you know what? I am gonna finagle a little because I actually think my next choice goes better as a 2 seed, in the hopes that we get that Elite 8 match. I almost gave it away. I get Austin and Bret Hart versus this match. So I'm going to go with another very, very classically regarded match. Shoot, which one was I going to go for? But more of big names, and kind of the wild west of the Attitude Era. It's a match if you go back, it's one of those that probably didn't age well. If you just remember what you remembered as a kid, you'd be like, oh yeah, this was a big time. This was the build-up, this was a match everybody wanted to see. If you go back and watch, you're like, oh God, this was that overbooked shenanigans and mess. But I'm going to go WrestleMania 17, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, the two all-time legends in just that biggest marquee matchup where Austin, we realized, would do anything, even aligning with his biggest rival Vince to win.
Yeah, which, side note, I don't know if you saw the trailer to the new Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix, but that might be cause for just a review video from you and I just to hang out and chat about it. I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see like how deep they go and how much they bury the guy. And oof.
All right. Well, we go snake S-curve drafting style, which means if you didn't get the first number 1, you do get the first number 2, and back and forth, vice versa, flip-flopping all around. This is the match that is personally probably my favorite and most memorable match of all time, because it brought me back into wrestling after I had gotten out of it for a while. Not necessarily for any specific reasons, but time and what I was doing. But, maybe this lined up, and when I had a little bit more free time to watch again, it really blurred the lines for me between like, is this real? Or is this a work? What's happening here? I'm going, and I didn't write down the event is that. I'm pretty sure I know. I don't remember the year because I was like, well, this is obvious. It's the first one I wrote down, but I'm going CM Punk versus John Cena, SummerSlam 2011. I'm pretty sure, but I don't. I
think it might have been Money in the Bank. 2011.
Well, was it at Money in the Bank? All right, because SummerSlam was the rematch, maybe, or he fought somebody else. But yeah, because Del Rio tried to cash in, he kicked him in the head and escaped. Because Del Rio tried to cash in that night. I think you're right. I think it's Money in the Bank.
Okay, that was the one where You're talking about the one where Punk won in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. First CM Punk versus John Punk. Look at that. Punk versus,
If we got it wrong, we can correct it. I was the idiot who didn't write that one down because like, does it even need to be said?
Yeah, I think it was Money in the Bank, but yeah, I will throw an asterisk next to that, and I will.
I think you're right.
Cool. Okay, well, those are some good picks. I figured that one would go early. If you had taken it, it was my next pick. But with that being said, I think I have my number 2 for this one. I think this is a good place for it. Okay, HBK and Undertaker, 2 icons. I'm gonna go with 2 more icons, one of which has already made the bracket, the other has not yet. I'm gonna go with Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Just the build and just the fact we never thought we'd see it. And I mean, was it a technical showcase? No. Was it still pretty unbelievable with the crowd and how they reacted? Absolutely so.
Yeah.
Going Rock, Hogan.
Hogan.
All right. So you are up, number 2 seed.
Oh man. These 3 guys. Jesus. None of these guys have been in a match yet. And I know this is one that I think we're both big fans of. I might be placing this a little high, but I don't want to overload all the top spots with the same repeat guys. You know? So I'm going to go with, and I think this is a recent enough match, but not too recent. People can go back on it. It's a triple threat. And when you think triple threats, there's a few, but I'm going to go with when our B-plus player finally reached the top of the mountain at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan versus Batista versus Randy Orton. Bryan, Batista, Orton. WrestleMania Triple X. Was it 30? I think it was 30.
Yeah, it was. Ooh, not to finagle, but if I don't get anything pressing and I get that 15 slot, I think I might have a decent one for that.
Interesting.
Because spoiler alert, Daniel Bryan did have to wrestle twice that night.
Yeah, I could see that.
His first match was damn good too.
That's a good one. I'd be surprised if that doesn't get picked before 15, but definitely finake. Yeah,
very true. Okay, yeah, I think I got my 2 seed for, what was the number 1 seed? Rock versus Austin.
Rock Austin.
I freaking love this match. We've seen, Undertaker, he's on this list, but which match am I talking about? Could be any of them. I'm going with Triple H.
I knew it.
End of an era, WrestleMania 28. That match, the false finishes, the story they were telling, just the lack of any error. It was just perfect all the way through. And then the bow at the end with all 3 of them. Hell yeah, I love that match.
Yeah.
My next pick's interesting because I don't know how many of these types of matches we're going to get on here, but I think this one is pretty widely regarded as the best one, if not one of the best. I'm going to go with the Royal Rumble 1992.
Oh, okay.
That was the one with Flair winning and, Hogan pulling Sid over, I think. So,
fair enough. Yeah, I know there are some good Rumbles, but I was like, it's going to take me... I was lazy and I was like, it's going to take me too long to find the Rumble that I think had like some of the best just inclusion of mini storylines within the larger storyline, the right winner and all of that. So I don't have any Rumbles on here, but I could end up doing a quick poll and looking for whichever one Daniel Bryan didn't win or something.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh.
Here comes number 30, Rey Mysterio. Boo! He got his son's heat that night.
Man, poor Ray.
Ray didn't even know what hit him. All right, man. Number 3s. This makes me nervous. All right, we already got HBK in this bracket, and I didn't pick an HBK match. Let's do somebody. Okay, you went with the Royal Rumble, which is kind of like a non-typical singles match. I'm gonna go with another one of the most memorable spots, and overall a really solid match. Anyway, I'm gonna go with. Shoot. Do I want to do this? I might change my mind because I was like, oh, HBK's already in this, and the guy I'm about to pick is also that HBK match. Why are they so good at wrestling?
I know.
I'm gonna do Undertaker versus Mankind, the Hell in the Cell at King of the Ring in 1998.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That is very, very high on my list, and I mean, you cannot argue with that pick.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 different kinds of matches here. We've got like the big storyline and like technical showcase at the one. You've got the big icons and once in a lifetime match at number 2, and then you've got the train wreck and carnage of just horrifying hardcore spots in wrestling. So this might be a good. Seeing who comes out of this bracket might really tell us a lot about what people value in their best matches of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the 3 seed for Reigns versus Cody. We got Bryan, Batista, Orton. Okay, so fairly newer matches. All right. I think I got a good one. I wasn't planning on going this high with this, but for whatever reason, I feel like this fits. Now, I'm going to go Savage Steamboat.
Ooh, nice.
From WrestleMania 3.
Right on.
Neither of which are on this bracket, and I'm pretty confident it will be Steamboat's only appearance. Unless you got, I don't know, maybe you got you got a random one. I don't know that I could name many other Steamboat matches, but yeah. That feels right.
Nice.
Okay.
I was leaning lower on my subjective personal favorites towards that one just to try and spice up some variety and stuff. So solid choice there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We've got another big icon match. We've got the end of an era match. All right. Let's do something weird here. Oh, no, I can't go that weird. I think people would actually think that's a better match. But I'm not going to pick it. You know what? Let's do this one. This is a definitely similar to my last pick. I guess my 3s are going to be like those moments that you see, you don't know if the match was any good, you don't really remember, but you're like, oh my god, yeah, that's a moment that set wrestling apart and made everybody think about wrestling at least for a couple weeks, if not longer. I don't know the quality of this match. And it was at the same WrestleMania as Savage and Steamboat, so I'm going to go Andre Hogan, WrestleMania 3. To a lot of people, this was what brought wrestling into modern popularity. Hogan slamming Andre was an event.
Yeah.
So let's get him on there. It's probably too early, but you don't want to see my personal favorite picks too soon.
I can't wait to see some of those personal picks. That's going to be great.
I've got a couple, like, I honestly, and that's what was so daunting. I remember seeing a lot of like really memorable, amazing matches just on like Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I was like, can I legitimately pick these? And I think I only have maybe 2. But they are the absolute 2 like most memorable matches, almost period in my whole life that just worked me over so good. Talked about him a little bit before, but we might get talk about it again. All right, we don't have Undertaker or HBK in this region, so we can probably get one of those guys in here. Let's get our first dose of Mr. Olympian himself. Let's get HBK Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21.
Very nice. I was going, when I when I thought I knew what I was going to go with, and I ended up going with Savage Steamboat. The first match I was going to go with was Michaels Angle.
Yeah.
It's just that darn good.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. A lot of just the pure classics are being gobbled up. What do we got? What do we got here? HBK, Undertaker, Mankind, Rock vs. Hogan. My oh my. There are a lot, and my oh my are the same names just all over this thing.
It's crazy, man. I was like, Jesus.
I know. All right. Okay.
I believe in the Cinderella magic where we're finally gonna have like a 4 or 5 seed win it. It's gonna be this one, guys. Start placing your money now. This is Chris's pick here. Is gonna be the dark horse of it. I know it. Oh no! I want to pick this one so bad.
I'm going Seth versus Cody Hell in a Cell 2022.
Yeah,
the infamous really torn pec.
Yeah, I have so much to say about my feelings on that match. I was hoping it wouldn't get picked in another sort of famous / infamous match that may or may not make this list. I don't know how you kind of view it or rate it, would get picked early because of its kind of like legacy and importance to one wrestler's career. And I wanted to put it up against this match if this one fell further. So maybe if it gets here, I'll throw this jabroni a bone and put one of his matches and finally say his name out loud.
Oh, no. No, I have no idea where you're going with this, so I will save that as a teaser because I really want to know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Which jabroni is going to make this bracket?
Which jabron?
Maybe go all the way.
All right. Well, speaking of jabronis that I love to rag on, you know what? I want to extend the olive branch to fans of this wrestler, or maybe even this wrestler, because I know he watches. I know he cares deeply about how much everybody views him as the best there is, was, and ever will be, or whatever he said. I'm gonna go. Obviously, this is not the first match people think of because Brett and Austin are on here as the overall number one. I'm gonna go Brett versus Owen. WrestleMania 10.
Nice. Okay.
There's another option at least, if not two, but I'm gonna go with this one. Let's get that brother versus brother on here. Yeah,
I think I might know what the other option. Well, there's a couple options. As much of a jabroni as he is, he has had some pretty good wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna go 4 seed Rock vs. Austin, Andre vs. Hogan, Undertaker vs. Triple H. Oh my, are those some heavy hitters?
The biggest marquee names. Yeah, these are the ones that sell your tickets.
They are. And I feel like I gotta put some names in here that belong but aren't on the list yet. A couple of options, but I'm gonna go, you know what, only because this match feels right here, I'm not the biggest fan. Nope. I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Oh.
I'm gonna go Brett versus
Ooh.
HBK. Not WrestleMania Iron Man match. I'm going Survivor Series 97, aka the Montreal Screwjob.
Oh.
I have no idea why I'm putting this right here because other than the Screwjob, I couldn't tell you one thing that happened in the damn match.
Somebody threw a towel in.
Yeah. Earl Hebner.
Shawn Michaels said the sharpshooter locked in at one point. There was one sharpshooter used at least.
Somebody got spit on.
Yep.
Okay. Now back to some matches that that's gonna be my. I'm just gonna go with my gut on a lot of these, and my gut is usually way off. But for this one, I am gonna go with TLC 2 from WrestleMania 17.
Well done.
The best car crash there ever was.
Mm-hmm.
Dudley's versus Hardy's versus Edge and Christian.
Nice.
It's going to be very interesting to see how when I post it on YouTube, how I'm going to have to word that.
Yeah.
It's going to take up less space. So, number 5 seed.
Number 5 seed. Wow. Oh, I was about to say, it's been so, I can't believe it's had to be so deep and we still haven't had Cena. But yeah, I picked Punk versus Cena. Never mind. That's been chosen. So I was like, I think it's time to get Cena on here. Man, what do I do? Do I do stipulation? Or do I do something kind of wild card in this 5 spot? Something that could go up against Seth versus Cody. Let's go with this is not my favorite John Cena match that I still have here, but for whatever reason I just want to put this one here. Let's go John Cena versus Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam 2013.
Love that match.
It would be hard. It'd be hard to say that Seth was in a similar role as John Cena was, and Cody was in that Bryan not respected. But there was a little bit of that feeling. Nowhere near the level of that finally allowing somebody that was over to pin you and beat you, and finally having somebody beat John Cena. But yeah, you could see some similarities, draw some similarities there.
Yeah. Okay. 5 seed. Well, at a certain point, this match it's all right. I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure here because this one's probably going to dethrone Reigns Cody, and I love that match. But if I want to have a shot at winning this bracket, I got to take this now because it's been sitting and waiting. It's Undertaker versus HBK Part 2.
There you go. Yeah, nice.
At WrestleMania 26, I believe.
Yes.
And that was career versus streak.
Yeah,
for sure. So.
Nice. I would like to see Brett and Owen go up against that one if there's not any good matchups in the first round before. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be happy to see the Hitman take another L. All right, let's go with. Oh, geez, this was at the same event. Should I pick double events back to back?
Ooh.
No, I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna go with. I am sad. I mean, if I pick it lower, it's gonna lose anyway. It'll probably lose in the first round. But I remember being so hyped for this match I think they actually, despite how one team was booked leading up to it, had the correct team win, and it set up everybody in both of these groups, and the proof is in the pudding. And then what we've seen for years to come. I thought this was the best 6-man tag match, probably, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with the Elimination Chamber when the Wyatt family versus the Shield.
Yeah.
They put them together. It was at a time when like WWE was like avoiding like putting the matches that you wanted because like neither guy could afford the loss, and if they did, you knew they were gonna book some silly shenanigans and nobody would come out a winner or a loser. But they did it. The Shield, who had like never lost, the Wyatt family, who had like had a few matches but were dominating, and it was awesome. And the Wyatt family won. I couldn't believe it. Even though I love the Shield, I love both. It was amazing. It was the best like young team spectacle, and like we believe in all like the hype for all these young guys that had only been doing it for maybe a year at the top level was insane, and they deserved it. So it was so awesome. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. I can't forget when they just faced off for the first time, not even in a match, just face to face, like acknowledging one another, and the crowd they got the holy shit chants. That was awesome. Great match.
Also, happy football season. I was going to say that earlier, but we had so much to talk about and catch up on. But yeah, there's NFL just started. We've had two great games. College football is in its second week. So yeah, maybe we'll get to talk about some college football sometime, or NFL sometime. But yeah, I'll be checking in on some football once we wrap up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is it my pick?
It's your pick again, my friend.
Oh shoot! All right. Let me go with
Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow in the interest of football.
In the interest of NFL. This one's further down, but this one's definitely a match that I think has legs to win one or even two matches. I'm gonna go Angle versus Lesnar at WrestleMania 19, because we haven't seen either of them for Angle's right up there. That's fine. That won't meet until the Elite Eight, and both of those probably won't advance that far. It's fine.
I don't know. Angle versus Lesnar is a great match.
I'm not taking it over Punk versus Cena though. But if you're like a Cena hater and like in-ring stuff and like you Punk carried the match or whatever, or wasn't that good, and you can see Angle Lesnar going over it, but
yeah. Okay. I think I am gonna go. Where are we at? 6 seed in the HBK Undertaker region. Man, it's gonna be tough to topple that one, but I'm gonna go with a personal favorite of mine, and that was Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, WrestleMania 35.
That's a good pick.
Kofi Mania, one of my favorite matches of all time.
It is really good.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
Kofi!
All right. Ooh, maybe a little Savage versus Steamboat. Second rounder. Oh, I don't know if I want to do it to Savage versus Steamboat, so I'm not going to. Let's give them. I have a couple personal picks because these were live events that I was at. I guess I've been at like 2 or 3 like big time live events. This one is a really solid match, and I think it would be considered kind of like one of the more better technical matches at this Mania, in line with Savage Steamboat. But not from like the biggest name guys at the time. There was a different main event match. So this was at WrestleMania 22 in Chicago, technically Rosemont, Illinois. They don't tell you that. I'm going to go with the triple threat for the heavyweight title, Angle, Orton, and Ray. And I will tell you, it was maybe the most impressive match, and maybe the best one, but I do have one more match that I think is actually a better match that will make it later. I don't know why I didn't pick it until the end of, it's a better match, but you'll see it a little bit later on the best matches of all time at a lower seed. Oh my god. What am I doing? Botching so hard.
It's all right. This one might be a little more well known, so maybe you're anticipating it getting farther.
Yeah.
Out of the first round.
I think so, yeah.
Let's see. 6 seed. I'm gonna go with a match we haven't.
Yet.
Not technically, we haven't seen this stipulation yet. We've seen a TLC, but this match is just the L from TLC. I'm going with the classic ladder match between HBK versus Razor Ramon from WrestleMania, I believe 10.
Yes. That was the match I was gonna pick, and I said I'm not gonna do that to Macho and Steamboat.
That's so funny.
Because I was like, that's just I feel like HBK and Razor Ramon ladder match would go over them because of the participants. Even if it wasn't the better match, it was a few years later, so the craft was more honed then anyway. And I was like, no, don't do it. That's rude. Because I love Macho Man and I love Steamboat, and I feel like that's a match that was ahead of its time and something that you could still watch and enjoy today, more in line with a modern match than what was going on at the time.
For sure. Hey, Rocky. Okay, I am gonna go with Punk.
Woo!
Puke Punk versus
John Punk
Lesnar from
Bronx Cena.
SummerSlam 2023.
Yeah. Nice.
Same SummerSlam as we got Daniel Bryan versus Cena.
Yeah.
That was good. And I think soft spot for that one because I was actually there in person at that one as well. And yes.
What?
Check it out.
Did I know that? Holy crap.
I don't know. Or was it 20? Yes, it was 2013. I botched something down here. I said Cena versus Bryan 2015, but that was 2013.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time for me to... there's going to be space for me to pick these later. But I should pick them now so that some of like the more matches that should be on here that people are expecting to see, maybe they get low seats or whatever. It's time to get not fully weird yet, but this one, honestly, I think the other two matches that I will definitely be picking are better than this one. But this is my most memorable Elimination Chamber match. It was, I believe I don't think it was the second one. I think it was actually like the third or the fourth. It's the 06 Elimination Chamber. John Cena went in as the champ. He retained. I know this is a different match. Edge cashed in on him, but I was a big fan of Carlito and Chris Masters, and they were kind of partners, and they were both in it, and I legitimately thought Chris Masters was going to win the title, and I was so hyped. I was like, no, oh man, Chris Masters is going to win the championship. And he didn't. I think Carlito was the second to last guy. I don't know. It was just at a time when I was like so worked over for the Cena loss. And I was like, they're finally going to do it. They'll definitely do it this time. And it tricked me. It tricked me again and again. But then when Edge cashed in, I remember I watched this at my buddy's house. He ordered a lot of pay-per-views. It was with a group of like our friends. Like obviously like senior year in high school or something for me. So it has like I remember it a lot, and it was a very memorable match. Probably not a good one, but might be our only Elimination Chamber match on here. Might not be, but that's my pick for the best Elimination Chamber match because it worked me the best. Nice.
Yeah, I can't say I saw that one. That was kind of towards that short period of time where I wasn't watching much. So I don't know if I've ever watched that one all the way through. I do remember the cash-in.
The Edge cash-in, which is its own match, makes it worth it. But I'm gonna just who knows?
It counts. Count it. Okay, so man, now you got me wanting to pick this crazy one that has no business being this high, but I'm gonna do it. I'm going with. No, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save that one, but that was close. That was very close. You know what's a good match that I want to go with?
Call.
We're gonna get Reigns on here again.
Yes. Might be what I'm thinking. Oh,
Reigns.
It was not what I'm thinking.
First match versus Daniel Bryan in that triple threat, where Reigns stacked him and pinned him.
Yeah.
And that was a really good match on a really terrible WrestleMania Night 2, WrestleMania 37. And that match kind of saved it all for him. That's the one that started with that weak Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton match. And there was like the box-like structure. Like, he's on a box-like structure. It's like,
yeah,
you need a box?
Oh, man. God, that was at WrestleMania. Yikes.
yeah. But I just remember that just being one of those, I don't remember how long the match was, maybe around 30 minutes, but it was so many near falls, so much fun. And your first time in front of a live crowd in a long, long time. So.
Yeah. Well, I realized I 100% jumped the gun on that Elimination Chamber choice. That could have gone as like a 14 or a 15. Because I'm looking at things that no, I actually do like and are good matches that have a chance to win. That one's going to lose in the first round. Almost undoubtedly. There are two modern-ish hardcore matches. Not modern. I would say I don't know, our youth era. That set up guys that are just winding down their careers. It was kind of like, you're an up-and-comer, we're going to put you against the hardcore legend. And it almost felt like hazing in a way. You want to be the big shot, you're going to have to get thrown on some thumbtacks or through a flaming table by Mick Foley. I'm going to go with the one in Chicago. Foley versus Edge. Hardcore match, had the flaming table spot. It had a lot of other brutal stuff. I think Lita also got a Saka with barbed wire in the match. So it was a grueler. It was a grueling one. So I'll put that one on there.
That was 22, correct?
That was 22. It should have gone above the triple threat. I don't know why I picked Andre or Angle, Ray, and Orton above it, but maybe just a better finagling of matchups.
For sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Foley versus Edge, classic. All right,
your
turn for the 8 seed up here, and then we get into the fun stuff.
Number 8, here we go. I know this. I don't want it to win, but I want Bret Hart to see himself go up against this match and be terrified that he'll lose to a big meat mountain monster men slapping each other match. There's no technical. It was just big hunks flopping around in there. I'm going to go with one of our favorite Dark Horse matches of all time, or at least I know we've talked about it before, and I had to look it up because I couldn't quite remember everybody who was in it. I thought it was a triple threat. It was apparently a fatal 4-way. Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman at SummerSlam 17. You could call it fatal 4-way, big meat. But God, that one was so much better than I ever expected. It was awesome. I loved that match. I wish I had more Samoa Joe matches on here. That was the guy I kind of was like, I gotta get him on here. He was phenomenal all career long, but even in his short time in WWE, God, he sold me on. It was legitimately a scary guy. I was like, he goes in there. He was a little bit Gunther before Gunther.
Fair. Yeah, he kind of was. Where he could, he could be fighting in the mid card, lower to mid card, but then he'd come out and challenge Lesnar, and you'd take him seriously.
Yeah. And you're like, I think he's really punching and putting people in sleepers out there.
Yes. Okay, 8th seed. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go another HBK match. Surprise, surprise. Versus Triple H at SummerSlam. I hate that SummerSlam and Survivor Series are both abbreviated as SS because it's going to make it hard. But
shoot, you're right.
It'll be all right. I'll figure it out. That is SummerSlam, not 22, 02. In that street fight, HBK's first match in over 4 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Great match.
All right, let's see here. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with the other. This one might not be. It's not their best match. It might not even be their second best match, but it was their first match, and it was another time where I thought WWE's not gonna pull the trigger on these guys because it's like they're gonna put the thing where they have like 3 names that are more popular beat 3 up and comers that need this win, even though they've been booked as like winning. It was like the heels will always dominate in non-matches and then they'll lose when it matters. I'm gonna go with the Shield's first triple threat at a pay-per-view where they took on Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Ryback. All 3 guys were pretty popular, with Team Hell No and Ryback being like super over, practically to the point of winning the title. And it was an awesome match. I think it was probably like a no DQ, or might have even been a TLC match. It was at TLC.
Okay.
TLC 12. I have marked down. But yeah, seeing the Shield win and having them look so good. Because I also wasn't bought into the guys when they just would come out. It was like 3 guys clad in black that are kind of boring looking.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about beating up CM Punk or Ryback or something or whatever, and I was like, this is lame. And then I got to see them all in a match. I was like, they're awesome.
Yeah. Man, I forgot about that match. But 2 of those guys are going to be here in my next choice. But I don't know. I will let you make the call on what to actually name this match. So it was Reigns versus Lesnar from WrestleMania 31, but we had to cash in, and it became a triple threat. Should I just call it Reigns versus Lesnar, or should I call it Reigns versus Lesnar versus Rollins?
I don't know why I went so late on this one. I kept looking at this one thinking it was the triple threat with Cena, Lesnar, and Rollins when I was looking at it. And it's my overall like number 2. And I was going to pick it for subjective reasons. Yeah, I wrote it as Rollins as all 3 of them.
Okay.
You can write it however you want. I'm so sad I didn't pick this one. Oh, I can't read, guys. I can't read.
Yeah, I don't know how, because I love that match too. And if you're, new to the channel, we were there at WrestleMania 31 that night, and that was one of the coolest moments ever.
Yeah. And it feels so validating when they consistently show it and rank it really high, because when you're there, you're like, this was the best ever, and you feel like you might be giving a little bias to it because you got to see it live and you're trying to be part of like a historical moment a bit more. But like, no, this is a big deal.
Absolutely. That was huge. Okay, so now fun stuff. Did we go in normal order? Because usually the person that picked first.
But we're on 9s now, so this would be right.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'm thinking of the ones. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for. It's not like we've done this a million times.
We get thrown off. It's hard.
We get thrown off. Yeah. But I got a good one for this match. You did a fatal 4-way. I'm going to do a triple threat match that was probably just as hard hitting, just as brutal.
Ooh, I know what it is.
That was Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus from WrestleMania 39.
I almost picked that one so early. I think I almost picked that as like a 3 or a 4 seed. And then I was like, no, Matt, don't do it. But yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I think it'll lose too soon.
Yeah.
And be like upset. And I didn't want to like have weird crap happen.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
Okay.
All right. This is okay. Wait, is Cena Punk the number 2 up above?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Then I don't want to pick the match I was going to pick. I might try and get it in that same region just for fun. I don't even know what match I'm thinking of now for that one. I'm gonna go with this guy has not been on the. No, never mind. I take that back. I'm gonna go with my favorite Money in the Bank ladder match. It was also at WrestleMania 22. It was the second Money in the Bank ladder match, not the first one.
Okay.
This had a great Shelton Benjamin spot where he like ran up a ladder. It like the first one was like really cool, but the second one they really started innovating with the spots, and I think it became like the benchmark for like this is a match where we'll have like all these new spots that we have to up every year. I want to say Edge won this, but I'm not positive actually. I looked it up, but now I'm blanking. I'm pretty sure this was the one Edge won.
Okay. Yeah, I'm blanking on that one.
No, he wouldn't have won because he was in the match against Foley. I'll look it up really quick if you want to. Money in the Bank, WrestleMania 22.
Yeah, for sure. I can,
Oh, Rob Van Dam won. Which
okay.
makes sense because I'm a huge RVD fan, and the fact that he won this and had a Money in the Bank will play into a pick that I make later.
Ooh, man, you were playing the long game here.
Yes.
Okay. So you got Shield versus Brian Kane and Ryback. I am gonna go with. I got a couple of random matches that I don't know how they would do because I don't know how many people remember them. You know what? I'm going to go with a pretty generic one here. I'm going to go HBK versus Austin from WrestleMania 14, where Austin won his first WWE Championship.
Ooh, all right. I think you get those two names on there. If people aren't sure, they might take a peek at it. I think people just might see HBK versus Austin, be like, yeah, it had to be better.
Right. All right, so that's my hope. That's my hope there, but we'll see.
They might also see Ryback and vote against it just by design.
Yeah, that's possible too. He hasn't really made the best name for himself in his post WWE career.
All right, so we've got. Oh, I can't do this to that match. Jesus Christ, Matt. What were you about to do? I'm going to go. Let's go with the other hardcore match with, for sure, Hall of Famer right now on kind of like that amazing farewell tour that we're all like, come on, man. Keep him in the main event for now. Going up against the hardcore legend. I was stunned. This was still pretty late. Like, this was not super early in his career. He had been a multi-time champion by now, I think. And I was surprised at the punishment they put this guy through for like, he's kind of like number 2 to John Cena right now. I'm going Randy Orton versus Mick Foley. This was at Backlash 04, but this was a brutal hardcore match with the thumbtacks, with Orton taking a lot of impressive punishment for a guy that was their 1A. Or 1B to John Cena's 1A at the time.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Yeah.
The Punishment Tour.
And by picking the Money in the Bank 22 and looking up the winner, I remembered the match I wanted to have, which would be in the Punk Cena region, which is also going to go up against Punk Lesnar, which will be a good match. This is has that third guy in common, so not Punk, not Lesnar, but this does have Cena. It's the ECW One Night Stand, RVD versus John Cena, the cash-in, calling his shot at Philly. Was it called One Night Stand, I think?
Yeah.
I guess this would have had to have been 2006? Was it that old? Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, if WrestleMania 22 was where RVD won the Money in the Bank that he cashed in, this was 06.
Gotta be.
Wow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
18 years ago. All righty. So Cena wins in the Elimination Chamber 2006. This is
God.
Edge cash-in.
Pick whatever you want. It's winning.
We'll see. I'm going to go with also Elimination Chamber 2023 where we had Judgment Day versus Team Cody.
Oh.
And we had the return of Orton, and then it's technically not part of the match, but in my mind, damn it, it was part of the match.
There you go.
Biggest return of all time with CM Punk return to WWE. So
yeah, these should be called Elimination Chamber Edge cashes in versus Elimination Chamber Punk returns, because that's really why they're here, aren't they?
They're very similar. Very similar.
Yeah.
And what's funny
you'll have to get those pictures in there so people know.
Exactly. So what's funny is I would say the first Elimination Chamber is pretty widely regarded as like the best one, which I have it on my list. I don't know if I'm going to pick it, but we've picked these two over that one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if many people remember them, but that's okay. This is our bracket, damn it.
All right. Reigns, Edge, Bryan. I desperately need to get this man in the bracket, although, I mean, modern perception on him has plunged a bit, which is fine. It happens to the best of us. I think there's probably one or two other matches that I would know and remember, especially with another guy that I don't have on here that I think should be on this list. I don't have a Kevin Owens match as far as I know on here, and I'm sure their match was pretty good when they finally did have it out. But I'm gonna go with the more commonly regarded good match for this guy. I'm gonna go with Chris Jericho versus HBK at WrestleMania 19.
Oh yeah, classic. And yeah, it's odd that Jericho hadn't yet made the list.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Cool. Alrighty, so it's on me. 10 seed to go against Foley and Edge. I'm going to pick a match that was also a car wreck. And also features somebody who we haven't seen on this bracket yet.
Nice.
I'm going to go with Angle versus Shane McMahon at King of the Ring 01 in that street fight.
Yeah.
Where, Shane got suplexed through that glass, but it took a few times.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Man, oh, man. Okay. And man, oh, man, do I have some silly picks coming up. Okay, 11th seed against Angle versus Lesnar. Ooh, man. I gotta go with this one. It's been staring me right in the eye for a while. It's a tag team match. It's the Usos versus KO and Sammy.
Nice. We got Kevin Owens on there and Sami Zayn and the Usos.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I don't think any of them have made it on here yet, have they?
No. If there was one like pure tag team match that I was thinking, I think this was gonna be the one, because we've actually had a couple six-way tag matches, or at least I picked 2 Shield matches.
yeah, and then there was the TLC
2 teams. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but pure tag match, it's hard to beat that one.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, my friend, you have the 11th seed here going up against Kofi Mania, Brian and Kofi.
All right. Let's go with let's pit these two against each other. I'm hopeful that people kind of think of things. I mean, if they vote for this one, they vote for this one. And it probably should be on here if we're putting matches that have like one particularly like reputable moment. Maybe this is a bad choice. I hope it does not win, but I want to put it on here because this is booking things correctly, Bryan versus Kofi, and knowing the story you're telling and having the proper payoff versus just booking something that surprised everyone, but it's still very infamous and memorable to this day. I'm going to put The streak is broken. Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 30.
Man, I did not see that coming until you said, until you got to the very end. I'm like, oh, we're going to go with Lesnar Taker. I had that on my list. But
yeah, I was like, this shouldn't be on here. But I was like, you know what? There should be a few matches that just have like, are on here for the shock of the match. Because to some people, that might sell you on like a important and best match of all time when you couldn't see something coming, because I think there's a lot of great matches that you know the ending to and also don't make it here. A lot of the ones that happen on like Monday Night Raw when Andrade and whatever his name is, not Swerve Strickland, go out there and have amazing matches, but like I guess there's no stakes. Like whoever wins, you're not gonna be like shocked by it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Long ramble, not important.
No.
Who's like Carmelo Hayes? Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah. I'm him. He's all right. I didn't like him at first when he first joined the main roster, but he's growing on me a little bit.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Angle, Orton, Ray. I'm gonna go with. So this is kind of like a technical showcase. All the guys, can just go in the ring. So I'm gonna go with the exact opposite and go with Hogan versus Warrior.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there you go.
6. I feel like it deserves to be on here. I was just so into this match as a kid. Just the two biggest presences in the wrestling world coming together and having a one-on-one match. Babyface versus babyface.
Right on.
Okay. HBK versus Reza.
Ooh, juicy. Man, I wish I had a good ladder match on here. I could bluff my way into picking the the Intercontinental ladder match at the WrestleMania we were at, because that was a really cool one, quite honestly. Screw it, let's do it. Let's let our personal bias come through with matches you might see on it. Intercontinental title ladder match, WrestleMania play button. Daniel Bryan won it.
Yeah.
Did he retain? I don't think he was champion. I think he won. I don't know who was champion at the time though.
He did win, and I also do not remember who's champion. If I had to guess, I'd probably guess Miz, because it seemed like he held the title all through like the 2010s.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Miz or I can't remember who else was in that match though.
Sheamus was in it because he took a brutal bump. Ambrose was in it too.
Okay.
Yeah. At least those four, and I mean, you already got a great match with those four. I think you got two others.
I'm guessing maybe like a Fandango, maybe.
Somebody like Ricochet, but not Ricochet. All right, so this is my pick to go up against. What do I got?
Me too.
Shoot, I don't have any more like brutal hardcore matches here, honestly. I'm gonna go with this is a bummer. This isn't the only match this guy's in, but this is probably his only singles match that'll make the list. A lot of his singles matches kind of were not well regarded, which is true. A lot of his big singles matches were very gimmicky and sucked. But when he got like his singles matches in like the Raws leading up, or like the shows leading up to pay-per-views, I always loved how he could go in the ring and how he moved. I'm gonna go with Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble 14.
Ooh.
I think, I don't know what it was, if it was just match production beforehand where they were deciding how matches would play out, or like lingering issues, or just like slowing down and not having it like he did when he first started as Wyatt family for the first year or two. But I always thought he was really underrated and thought he hit like a truck. He kind of popped off the ropes like Braun Breaker and would just boom, middle of the ring, that kind of like side, not even like full crossbody, but just like almost like turned elbow crossbody type move. I loved Bray in the ring. So I really wanted to get him on here because I was a huge fan.
Yeah, So that's a good match. That was the match that took place right after the classic Daniel Bryan, because he was like going to join the Wyatts, and then, or he kind of did for a little while, and then he snapped out of it and
broke away, is on top of that cell, and
yeah. So good. Okay, Cena versus Bryan. Speaking of Daniel Bryan. Cena versus Bryan at SummerSlam 2013. So going up against this match, it's a pretty technically sound match, but I might have an old classic that I don't necessarily haven't necessarily watched it in a long time, but people seem to really like it. I'm gonna go with Brett versus British Bulldog.
Oh, that was the match I was gonna throw to that jabroni Bret Hart. Because I got to look and I was like, oh, it's Seth versus Cody. I was like ready to pick it on my next round through, because I mean, there's the notorious story about this, right? British Bulldog was out of his mind on like drugs and painkillers. Yeah. Bret Hart like basically told him the whole match beforehand, and when they got in the ring, British Bulldog still couldn't do anything, and it's like people were like, Bret Hart wrestled a 5-star match with himself, basically.
Yeah.
And because of Cody's legit injury in that match with Seth Rollins, when I saw that match and after it happened, I gave so much credit to Seth Rollins for making it believable that he would like the pace of the match, despite knowing Cody was really injured, and wrestling a match where it was conceivable that Seth could lose fairly to a guy who legitimately could barely do a lot of his moves. I gave so much credit to Seth Rollins for that match, even though everybody's like, "Oh, Cody toughed it out." So like Seth, like a guy, you know, you couldn't put a guy who's not gonna be able to sell moves in there and make it a good match, because you'd come away being like, "This was stupid." Like, like you wouldn't buy into the realism of it. But Seth worked the match with Cody at such a pace that you didn't lose that, you know, immersion in that this was all just stage, and you know Cody would never really win this match. You bought into it, so I that's where I was going to pick Brett there, so that he could lose to Seth Rollins and Brett.
That's a very good point. Gosh, I didn't even draw that connection, and I hadn't even had that thought that Seth versus Cody was more so on Seth for being a pro than Cody.
That's my view. They both, I mean, obviously it's way different circumstances than Bret Hart wrestling against a guy drugged out of his mind and Cody really injured, but being a great wrestler and being there and able to also work with Seth. Like it wasn't Seth just pulling it off, but I think they wrestled. I don't know if you could put two wrestlers in that same situation and have as believable as a match if you wanted the guy with a literal bruised ass pec that's disgusting looking win a match against a top superstar.
That's fair.
It's a good match. It's a good match. But I'm a Seth Rollins simp, so what do I know? It was probably Cody did everything. All right. Yeah. So my pick, Undertaker versus HBK. I should do another Taker. I should do Taker HBK, Taker HBK. Because there's one more on here, the very first Hell in a Cell. I don't know if I'll even pick it at this point. Let's do, I got to get this guy on here. I don't know. I know the one that's perceived as better, but I'll probably pick that one because I don't know enough about the differences between the two matches. I'm going to go John Cena versus AJ Styles. Royal Rumble 17. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe must be on my list. They must. They're too good.
Oops, spelled Styles wrong. Styles. Good. I didn't have that on my list, and I am disappointed in myself because that is a banger.
Yeah.
Okay. Time to get a little weird. Okay, Shield versus Wyatt's. You know, Wyatt's little spooky wookie. I'm gonna go
Boogeyman match.
I'm going back to back here. It doesn't really matter which one I put here, but since Bray was in this match, I'm gonna go Cena versus Bray at WrestleMania 36 in the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, nice.
Which isn't even a match, so it's it's kind of strange to put that on there.
And it makes me think I know the next one, but maybe I don't.
Yeah, you might. What are we at? 13? 13 seed. How strange is this? And then I'm going to go Taker versus AJ.
Yeah, the Boneyard.
The Boneyard match. Yeah.
I like that. I like those back-to-back picks and getting the more production-based matches on there. Why not? This is, the only thing... say, why not? And I'm not even going to bring it up. There have been no women's matches on this list. I don't intend for there to be. Nothing, but
I have two on my list, but I was more so saving them for like in the event that I needed something. But I don't think I'm gonna get any on here. And this is that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
I mean, if I were to pick a best women's match of all time, I would pick the really like problematic ones from like the 2000s where like it was a Playboy pillow fight or whatever, because I was looking at some of the pay-per-views and I was like, oh yeah, WrestleMania 22 had Tori Wilson versus Candice Michelle in a Playboy pillow fight or something, and I was like, God, man, if I wasn't there live, pants would have been off. All right, we snuck that in there later, so whatever they say about if you swear too early or in your videos, the algorithm knows. I don't know.
The algorithm.
All right, so my turn. Seth versus Cody. I don't get to put Bret Hart against here unless I just pick a match so we can lose. Screw you, Bret.
Like a random Bret match.
I could. Let's go with. Oh man. What am I gonna do? All right, this is one other guy that I want to put on my list because, while maybe his match, I think the consistency of his matches and his in-ring ability was always amazing. I wanted to watch his matches all the time because they were always high quality. I don't know which one to pick. This is the first match I think that will be a non-pay-per-view match. I'm going to go with the Cena U.S. title open challenge versus Cesaro. It was in 2015 and it was on a Raw.
Yep. Got it.
But Cesaro was awesome.
Yeah.
Is awesome. He's still doing good work in AEW, or so I hear.
Yeah, same. Apparently Brian Danielson is doing the best work of his career over in AEW.
Yeah, he just won the title like last month or something. The big title, I think.
Yeah, the main one. I was on cagematch.net recently, who they have just like extensive lists and stats and everything you could want to know about wrestling and wrestling history. It's on there. And they have it ranked as the greatest wrestlers of all time. They have Undertaker at number 1. They have Bryan Danielson at number 2. And that must say, it really makes me want to go check out some of his AEW work because,
for sure,
I just don't have that much time to watch that much wrestling throughout the week. I can't really keep up with WWE and AEW, but that makes me want to check out some Bryan Danielson.
And to think he just passed Doink the Clown at number 3.
I know, it's crazy. You would think
you'd think Doink would be forever number 2, but
yeah,
somebody else finally passed him.
I know. I didn't think Undertaker could pass him. I mean, Doink was rocking that number 1 all through the 90s, and then Taker just has the longevity apparently.
Yeah, I think it was that Boneyard match that finally did it.
Or that Goldberg match that was like really put him over the top. Another guy who may not make it on here, or I don't know if you have him. Bret versus Owen. My oh my. What to put against Bret versus Owen? I do have a question. Huh?
I was gonna say, if Jimmy and Jay was the match we hoped for, what a great spot this could have been.
Right, I know. Good call. It just did not It didn't come
Yeah.
through. Quick question. Do you have any NXT matches, and are we including NXT?
It's fine if you want to. I don't have any.
Okay.
I thought it would open too many forbidden doors for me, so I said,
yeah.
Same with women's matches, quite honestly.
It does, I think, open too many doors. There have been too many NXT bangers that I will just say, I didn't have too many on my list, but I will leave them off. But I think a good, because so many NXT matches were just, so many near falls and so much technical ability coming out the wazoo, that it would have been a good matchup for Brett versus Owen. But I don't think that
you do it. Nobody's gonna notice. Presumably. How come this was the only NXT match I've seen so far? Just tell him, you must have missed the pulse with the other one, dude.
Yeah. Huh. You know what? I'm gonna put I'm gonna get another tag match on here. It's not a super well known match, but it was another one where I was there for it in person here in Detroit. It was at Hell in a Cell 2015, and that was New Day versus Usos.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like New Day and Usos have had so many classic matches that it feels only right to get a New Day Usos match on here. And it will, go up quite nicely against Brett versus Owen, I think.
Very fair.
Okay, Brett versus HBK. The screw job.
Let's. I think this match might have had some callbacks in it to Brett versus HBK. I don't remember. I know they've done a match with Modern Guys where they was kind of like teased a little bit. So I know you were thinking of picking this match to go against one that's coming up soon. But we were like, it'll probably go earlier. I'm gonna pull it now. I'm sorry if this ruins a pick for you later.
No,
but I'm gonna do the opening match of WrestleMania 30, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan.
Nice.
I feel like they did some callbacks to like kind of the screw job, but I don't think Vince was around. I don't think he came out. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch it. I remember just a couple of things, but it's been a while since I've sat down and watched the full match.
Yeah.
Bryan versus Triple H. Okay, let's move on up to 14. Rumble 92.
All right. This would be the perfect chance for me to get one of my personal favorites to maybe win, because people might be like, I can't be bothered looking up 92 Royal Rumble if they don't know it. But I'm not gonna pass on a match that probably shouldn't pass on. I will try to put it up against a match that I know we are both fans of. I'm actually surprised. It's probably on your list, but I am surprised you didn't pick it sooner. I mentioned that I thought this was the match that I kept looking at and didn't pick, and because I was thinking it was. I wasn't thinking I was looking at the cash-in at WrestleMania 31, but this match was not long after. This was a triple threat with two of the same guys, but then we just threw in John Cena. This is Lesnar, Rollins, Cena, Royal Rumble 15.
Oh, man. Yes, I freaking love this match. It is just a car wreck in the best kind of way.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, and yes, I do have it on my list. I hadn't yet pulled the trigger on it, but it's probably coming, though. We're getting down to the wire.
We are. Just a few left, maybe like 5 or 6 for each of us or something.
Yeah. Okay. I cannot hold out any longer. Oh no, I gotta feed this match to Undertaker Mankind, but I don't care. I'm gonna go KO versus Austin at WrestleMania.
Oh, nice!
Freaking love that match.
We could get an upset. There is still very high praise talked about this. It's not like people have soured on it and been like, I think the unexpectedness of more than a segment. And that's the thing, sort of like the surprise and shock of something that you didn't see coming
Yeah.
And then for it to go for so many minutes, I don't know. That has potential upset. I think just because of the spot, people will probably pick Mankind Taker, but I think if you put them up against each other, they're pretty evenly matched, quite honestly. If I were to watch both of them, I could see arguments for myself going either way on which one's the better match.
Yeah. Good.
All right.
I'm not messing around. I've lost like 6 straight brackets. I want to freaking win this one.
Savage versus Steve. Well, this is perfect. I'm gonna go. This is a Raw match.
Okay.
It's not my favorite one. I was more invested in it, and I was also more convinced that a title was going to change on Raw. I've talked about how I still don't like Triple H necessarily, and I think it's because he just worked me so good as a wrestler and his title runs. And there were 2 back-to-back Raws, kind of at like the peak of like when I was a mature wrestling fan, like at high school age. So like older than a kid, but not like an adult where you're in that age where you're just like, and then you go do it and you go out and wrestle like in front of your Taco Bell and stuff. I'm going with Triple H versus Rob Van Dam, Monday Night Raw, some effing year. I want to say it's got to be 06.
Yeah. Right.
And I was convinced this is when Triple H always had. There was ref bumps, sledgehammers, evolution interference, all in one match. So many false finishes and false pins. I was convinced RVD was winning the title. He was my favorite wrestler at the time, and he didn't. It shook me so bad. It ruined like the next few days of my summer. I was so torn up by these matches. So I gotta get it there. Nice.
Yeah. Can't say I remember that one, but
these are good. Like they might not be good matches, but man, I don't know. They might be because they pulled all of those effing shenanigans that Triple H matches do. Ref bumps. The ref comes back in and slow counts. Yeah. And I think he actually wins on one of the 2 that I'm going to pick on like a slow count where you think, oh, the slow count happened earlier because the ref's groggy and the Triple H kicked out. Now the other guy's going to, get it back, but it doesn't. The sledgehammer just knocks him out. I'm going to watch them. They're so good.
Yeah. I wonder if you're on YouTube. Maybe.
I could. Somebody's probably uploaded them, and WWE doesn't care about those 2 matches.
Yeah. Okay, Andre versus Hogan, WrestleMania 3. I am going to go with Rock versus Austin from WrestleMania 19. Which,
nice.
Was Austin's last match.
Until it wasn't.
Until just 2 picks ago.
Yeah.
He came back against KO, but talk about some star power. Andre, Hogan, Rock, Austin. It's a I'm sure someone's Mount Rushmore out there.
Yeah.
And then we venture on up, and we are down to 4 picks each.
Here we go.
So we got Punk versus Cena. What in the world am I gonna pick to go up against Punk versus Cena?
ELC.
You know what we haven't picked yet that I think.
Women's match.
Well, I got 2. I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm picking either one of them.
Yeah, At this point, I don't know if it would go well for either match.
Yeah, I hate to do this because I think no matter what we put here, at this point, Punk Cena is a heavy favorite. But this is a good match. Triple H versus HBK versus Benoit. WrestleMania 20 triple threat.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's a good match.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think it should just be a walkover. I think there'll be people that prefer that match, quite honestly, and I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I like it. I want to see what happens with that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here, even though I think this is the better match, I picked it later. Oh no! Because I didn't want to do it to whatever match we had it going up against. Kind of like two legends. I can't remember what I picked. RVD, Triple H to go against. But 1 week before on Monday Night Raw. So this is when Kane. This was Kane with a cool guy, a cool small guy before Team Hell No, when he was partnered and friends with RVD. Kane wrestled Triple H for the title on Monday Night Raw, and it was if Kane lost, he would lose his mask. And you had to think, at maybe even adult wrestling fans, I don't know if you're like, why would they unmask Kane? Maybe like you'd at least go, there'll probably be a no contest. They're not going to have Triple H lose the title, and they're also not going to ruin Kane and have him unmask here. I was convinced Kane was going to win, like the RVD match. Ref bumps, sledgehammer interference, RVD coming out and helping Kane. Slow counts from refs getting back in the ring. Second refs running down to the ring. This shit had it all, I tell you. And then Triple H still won. And this will hopefully not be remembered for what happened after the match, where Kane took off his mask and it was just weird. They tried to like squish his face down with like makeup and make it look like he had no features or something. But oh my God, dude. Those two matches, those two main events consecutive on Monday Night Raws in a row, I think might have been the best two non-pay-per-view main event title matches in a 2-week period. They were so good. I could be hit with like nostalgia and being younger and not knowing enough about wrestling goggles here, but man, I don't know. I was bought in.
Yeah. So it was Raw.
Raw. 06. Same.
06. Okay.
Wait, did I say 06 for RVD?
I
meant 02. Wait, okay. No, 06. Wait, no. Yeah, this should be 02.
Kane versus Triple H, Raw 02?
Yeah, and the RVD one should also be 02.
Okay.
I don't know what year I said. I think I said 06 like an idiot. Yeah, I said 06. It was 02. I wasn't that old. I would have known better when 4 years later I'd be like, yeah, there's no chance. But 15-year-old me, my summer before going into high school, yeah, I was bought in.
100%. Okay. So you got Bryan versus Batista versus Orton. I'm gonna go.
You did pick that one.
I think I'm gonna go with the original Hell in a Cell.
No!
Taker versus HBK again.
Nice,
Bad Blood 97.
That's good. I just said, oh no, because I'm running out of picks here. I need to make 2 more. No, I need to make 3 more.
Just, you have to go random, like, think of, Raw or the last pay-per-view or whatever.
Exactly.
Logan Paul versus Ricochet.
Yeah, man. All right. Undertaker versus Triple H. End of an era. Let's go with I saw this on some lists, and I have to imagine it's a great match. It's also got 3 all-timers. Oh, but it's got Taker in it. I don't know if I want to double that up. I'm just going to do it. I don't know. No, you know what? I don't know the year, but this guy needs to be on the list, even though he's not my favorite. I've also talked some ish about him on the channel before, and put him at like number 4 on the Frog Splashes. But I think people, if they looked at the whole thing and didn't see an Eddie match, would try to get us banned from YouTube or something. Let's go Eddie versus Lesnar.
Yeah.
I don't know what pay-per-view this one was.
I actually have it. It's No Way Out 04.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I was actually going to pick it, I think, with one of my next 2 picks, but I don't know. I got a lot here.
Oh, I'm scraping. I've got like 2 or 3 left, but they're almost like rematches of matches I picked. Perfect. Then I can go with the triple threat I was gonna pick because it doesn't have any of those guys. This is Kurt Angle, Undertaker, and The Rock.
Oh.
Vengeance 2002. I have to imagine it was a good match with those 3 people in it. It was for a title. It was probably the main event of the pay-per-view. This was back when all of the pay-per-views had like really good like hard rock songs, like not metal, but like a lot of Seven Dust and Godsmack and Crossfade and Breaking Benjamin. So it's probably got a great lead-in song to that Vengeance 02 pay-per-view too. Maybe like a Rob Zombie song like Dragula.
Limp Bizkit, My Way or the Highway.
Oh, honestly, I feel like My Way was a Vengeance theme song. I'm gonna look it up. Vengeance 2000 really quick.
Oh man, I'm gonna go. I'm just pulling at straws here. I don't. Yeah, why not? HBK versus Brett. WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match.
Ooh, nice.
So we'll have Brett get fed to Undertaker because no way in hell people are going Iron Man match over HBK versus Taker.
Hopefully not, but I don't know. Maybe those Brett fans out there.
I don't know if any Brett fans follow us. We've talked a lot SHIT.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was just doing a little bit of Vengeance lookup before my almost last pick. The Vengeance 2002 was actually in Detroit, Joe Louis Arena.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
interesting.
And the theme song was "Downfall" by Trust Company, which definitely a banger. I know it for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, wow. That probably was my introduction to that song, and I still download it and put it on stuff. All right, my last match, my Mr. and Mr. Irrelevance. Oh, you know what? I'd love to do a Mr. and Mrs. Irrelevant and have like China versus Jericho or something. I think that match happened, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to go with, it's tough. I want to pick like a good match for like guys that maybe haven't been on here that much. And I didn't write a lot of other things. As much as I love Shinsuke on here, I didn't do enough research to get him on here. I've got 2 options. I could either go another Daniel Bryan match. He's had a lot. But get Ziggler on here. But I don't know how good that match was. Or I could get Cesaro and Sheamus on here one more time. For debatably the better match between Cesaro's 2 matches. The one against Cena is really good. But him and Sheamus had also a really good singles match at Clash of Champions 2016. I'm going to pick Cesaro Sheamus for Clash 2016 here.
Okay. Clash of Champions. All right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was almost all of my matches.
Okay. Wow. All right. So I guess down to the very last pick that I don't know which one to select. I will go, just because this one was so fun, I'm going to go with one of the very many Reigns versus Lesnar matches, but this one was at SummerSlam 02, the one where Lesnar came out with a tractor and lifted the ring up with the tractor, and yeah, it was just loads of fun. So Reigns versus Lesnar.
So it was a 22.
22, yeah. Yeah, when Reigns was 14 years old.
Back when Matt was listening to Trust Company.
Yeah. Oh man, I got quite a few that didn't make it. But
I only had 2 on my list. It's got almost everything.
Nice. What were your 2 again?
Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan at like Bragging Rights 2010. And I actually think I misread this one for a long time because I thought this was a second Styles versus Cena match. I was tempted to stop you and go back and change If you think this is a better match, you could do it. Styles fought Lesnar at SummerSlam in 2017, I think, and they had a really solid match. I'm fine taking out Cesaro and Sheamus. I think it's probably a better choice.
Oh, I'll do whatever. Cesaro Sheamus was a banger, but Styles Lesnar was a good match too.
Give me Styles Lesnar, SummerSlam 2017.
Cool.
Not enough AJ Styles on here. Also not enough Cesaro, but you know, he got one.
Yeah. You know who else had a good match with Lesnar was Daniel Bryan when he was the Planets champion. I remember it being very weird because they were both champs on opposite brands, and Bryan was like running around and being like, I don't know, it was very strange because they're, like I said, I think they were both heels, but I remember it being a super fun match. Like once it actually got going, it was really good.
Yeah, I don't remember that match in a lot of detail, but I have to imagine like Daniel Bryan is just a smart performer. And when Lesnar buys in and when he works with the right guys, he is a fantastic performer too.
Yeah.
If he's got the right dance partner, he looks great out there and it does everything he needs to. So yeah, I like vaguely kind of remember that like awkward beginning, but I think I loved it. So it's like, yeah, this is what you would have to do. And then as it got to more of a surprisingly even match, it's just like, wow, you know, it's those matches. And like I talked about with Rollins and Rhodes with the injury, it's those matches where the build up and on paper, how they've booked both guys, it shouldn't be a competitive match. And you're like, they're going to have to work extra hard to win me over for me to think like, this guy has a chance. And I think that's what's also been really honestly impressive about Logan Paul. Like fighting Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, and you're like, they just booked him because like it's a holding pattern. They don't want to blow their big Roman Reigns matches early, and this is probably what Saudi wants. They're going to pay for it. And like, how are you going to convince me that there's any shot of Logan Paul beating Roman Reigns right now? But like, brass knuckle work, interference, you start going, are they really going to do this? Like, he's good. The match production and then the performance by the guys are convincing enough. And when they can convince me that like, it wouldn't have been Lesnar pinning Undertaker kind of shock if they swerved me and had Logan Paul win this, because the match was built correctly. I think that's the issue with the Taker Lesnar. It never felt like it was actually a competitive match because of the build-up. It was just like, yeah, Lesnar's bigger and stronger, but Taker's the one's going to win it. And then he just didn't. And you were just like, oh.
I don't know. Yeah. That's I think one good thing they're doing right now is with Cody matches or Reigns matches when he was on like the 4-year streak, or Gunther matches when he was carrying the title. Like, you knew who was going to win, but they still managed to make it super entertaining. Like
Orton Gunther, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, exactly. I think most of us are like, they're not going to end the run so soon, but there's that nagging down in the back of your mind because you know how respected Orton has been. And then you watch the match and the way they build it, you're like, yeah, if they do it, like, I'm not going to be mad about it. They're doing everything right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Special guest appearance. Special guest referee come in.
Yeah, she popped in. She just got home. But let's see. I got my headphones on, so I realized she couldn't hear the dialogue. Only me. So, poor gal. Oh man, but yeah, this is going to be an exciting break. I think this more than any of our other brackets, very hard to call. Very, very hard.
Yeah.
To call who the winner's going to be.
I have to imagine it's good money that at least one variation of a Taker and or an HBK match, not necessarily both of them together, but I'd be stunned if they're both not in the final four in some form. But it could happen. Again, like they could come up against a match that just hit better for more people. But those two guys probably have the most matches in here. So
yeah.
But Rock, Austin have quite a few. Triple H, quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we'll see how recency bias plays against nostalgia. We'll see how a match like Hogan Andre holds up against, I don't know what it's going to face, but a Reigns Rhodes. It just happened within the past 6 months.
Yeah, I don't think Hogan and Andre should win. Honestly, I put it late on my list because I was like, I don't have enough, and the way it's talked about is like, yeah, it's not the best match, but it was the most important match to wrestling for a long time. And it's like, well, fair enough. That's a reason to throw it on there and see, well, what do we think now? Would we, when we're talking about best matches of all time, do we want to give credence to the ones that are amazing and have us biting our nails from start to finish and just have great in-ring performance, or the ones that mean so much and just have like a spot? It's a good question to ask, and that's why we ask you guys, because we don't know. I picked goddamn Triple H versus Kane for the best matches of all time on a Monday Night Raw. So you know I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna watch that match like right now. It's so good. I promise. Watch it. Everybody watch it.
And I got 2 matches that aren't even matches. So we'll see.
They're short films.
Yeah, the best come down to Boneyard versus Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, you know what? I should put See No Evil on here, the Kane movie, and been like, yeah, that's kind of a match. Kane kills a bunch of people.
Right. Rock, San Andreas. It's The Rock versus an earthquake.
Versus earthquakes. Oh my God. Yeah, there was a wrestler named Earthquake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, what do you say we wrap this thing up and go enjoy our Sunday or Saturday, I guess it is.
Thank God. Oh man, I would have. Yeah. Let's hopefully pull up some scores and see. As much as I don't like Texas and never want them to be back, I might have to hook them horns today to beat Michigan.
Right on.
Yeah. So I'll take a look at that score. Then I might go out and practice a little volleyball. Just
nice.
See how high I can jump in the sand for a while, but also with a volleyball.